Back in the building, back for another More Small moment, and today we have another question, which was in our YouTube comments actually. It wasn't in askmorsemore.com, but hey, we did say you can write questions in the comments, and here we have it. So today, the question is, and I think, do you know what, to be fair, I think we've answered this question in some video, in some form, somewhere, but let's make a fresh video for its own. So just in case some people missed it, here's the answer again. So this one's like, hi guys, what is your opinion on high super count wall suits versus lower super count wall suits?
Cool. All right.
Simple, straight question.
It's a straight question, but there's a few factors to the question. Now, in terms of the super count, or for those of you who don't know, Fred count, or I never say it right. I say Fred. It's Fred counts. Anyway, either way. So basically, the Fred count is how many stitches per. Is it per inch, or how tightly woven the thread is. So the tighter the weave, the higher the tighter it's spun, the higher the super count on it. So essentially, when you have suits which typically range from about 110, 100 thread super count up to, I don't know, what's the highest I've seen, maybe 220, something like that.
That's my numbers.
Yeah,
That's my numbers out there.
Something of that nature. Now, when it comes to thread count, or super count, as the guy called it, I assume guy, I'm not going to say it could be a girl, as the person called it, it really also depends on the composition of the fabric. So you can't really compare a pure wool merino 120s to a woolen cashmere 120s, because the thread count is could be the same, but they're different compositions, so have different feels. But essentially, as a rule of thumb, the higher the thread count, the softer the material, and the more, can I say, supple, the more prone to wear it potentially is, but the better it feels. So, for example, the higher the thread count you get, the more expensive the fabric likely is. So, there's obviously pros and cons to this, because the higher the thread count that you get, the less that you can really wear the suit, because that's not a suit that you're going to wear day in, day out for work. Whereas the 110s, the 100s, the 120s, those are the suits that are a bit more robust and that you can wear more often. So it really all depends on what you're trying to achieve with your suit as to what material you want to go for. So if you're something where, for example, you're getting married, whatever thread count is fine. If it's something where you're going to wear in, day out for work, you have to make sure that you look at what is going to be the most robust for you and choose accordingly. And obviously, ask your tailor. Ask them for advice on what works and what won't work.
Cool.
Thoughts on that?
So, like, you talked about wear and tear.
Yep.
And you've talked about supple and rugged. Is there any differences between the two when it comes to the way they lay, the way they flow, the way they drape when it's worn?
Again, it's difficult because you get some. You also, again, see, and this is another factor you have to bear in mind. You have to think about the weight of it as well. So you've got the grammage to each fabric as well. So a lighter weight is obviously going to flow more than a higher weight. So if you have something which is, say, 130 grams, it's going to be quite light and flowy, more of the Italian type of look, because they're more in a hotter country, as compared to maybe a 180, which is something maybe you would wear in Britain. I was going to say in the winter time, but in any time of the year based on our weather. So that has a factor to it too. So you've also not only got to consider the thread count, but also the grams as to how the suit will sit and how it will flow with your body. So that is also something to add. So, yeah.
Would it be fair to assume, though, like the higher the thread count, the lighter in weight it's going to be?
Essentially, But then if you go for a higher grammage, then it will be thicker still. So for example, you could have a flannel wool.
But what I mean is that, say for example, you went for a thick piece of wool, heavier piece of wool in general. The wool's heavy, right? So then, is it even technically possible to weave it tighter than a smaller piece of wool? Is it what I mean? So I'm just trying to think, like, in theory, like, it may not, I may be completely wrong. In theory, I'm thinking the higher the thread count, it's just bound to be lighter because
because it's more tighter spun.
Yeah, tighter spun.
Essentially,
like thicker threads and thicker, heavier threads couldn't be spun as tightly as a smaller thread. See what I mean? Because it's already small.
Yes.
So you can get more threads, so more thread crosses in between every.
Yeah. Essentially, I'm not gonna lie. We don't deal with many in the Super 200s because they're just, they're not going to work for what most people want them for. So we don't carry much. Yeah, most people, because you wouldn't. You'd wear it, that's like, for those of you who haven't heard of it, there's something called Vicuna wool. Most people wouldn't request that because you wear it once, it feels amazing, but you can't wear that more than like twice a year. So I assume, it's most expensive fabric. So I assume when you're getting to the 200s or so, it's not going to be the same as Vicuna, but it's going to be the same type of robustness where it isn't very robust. And the more you wear it, the more you're going to start to see patches in it. So we just wouldn't recommend anything like that unless you've got 100 suits in your wardrobe. I'd say stick to within the hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that the most common suits out there, you're going to find in Super 100s, Super 120s. Mm-hmm. Those are like the most common suits every tailor's going to be dealing with. Most people are going to be asking for. So, in terms of your question, it was quite open. It was quite open. It wasn't a case of what's your preference. It's just what do you think, and those are our thoughts, pretty much. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So we hope we answered your question. If we didn't, get back to us. Let us know.
We'll do a part 2.
Exactly, we'll do part 2. We hope it was informative. We hope you learned something from it on thread count, high versus low, light versus heavy. But continue to send your questions into us at ask@moresandmore.com. Continue to like, subscribe. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands there. Continue to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. We appreciate every single action you take because those actions took us to 1 million views across all our videos.
Amen.
Amazing. But either way, we look forward to seeing you guys again. Continue to interact with us on our several social media streams from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. See, I did that without even counting on my hands. But anyway, see you next time. Hi guys, back in the building for. Sorry, let me get these out of my hands.